Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Spartan Sports Report. We're happy to be joined by Athletic Director Brent Duncan. Brent, welcome for the first time.
Fran, thanks. Happy to be here for the first time.
You've had a good summer?
Yeah, it's been a good summer getting things ready for the upcoming fall, which has already started.
Only, 7 varsity sports in the fall?
Well, technically 8, and then you throw in cheerleading and Spartan Ed, so
Right.
9 and 10, because, cross-country is co-ed, so.
Right, and then you have all the JV teams.
Yeah, we have our first JV football game tonight with Franklin County, starting at 6 out at the field, so we had a shot to see what our younger football players look like for the first time.
And this is their first game, right?
Yeah, we were supposed to play Monroe Central last Monday, but just a little bit too much torrential downpour over the weekend, and the field was a little sloppy after Friday night's game with Richmond that first week. So the next Monday it was just a little bit too wet and too muddy still, and needed to have the field a little bit of time to heal. So we're planning on making that up, I hope, October 1st. So we'll see if that pans out. So.
The field's not that old, is it? What is there a problem with
No, it was just a lot of rain.
I see.
So it was just really soupy and muddy, and then it rained on Saturday after that, and then it rained again on Monday really hard. So it was just pretty soft and saturated.
We could tell in the Spartans opening game the uniforms were getting
A little dark and dirty, weren't they?
And Coach Kelly tells me he launders those.
Yeah, he does all the laundry by himself, so he takes care of all the uniforms after the game because he just doesn't trust anybody else to do it the right way, which is fine. You want your coaches to take pride in what they have. So.
Right. New jerseys this year for the Spartans?
No, it was, I think this is our second full year.
Oh, okay. I was thinking they were different than what the guys wore last year. But, how often do you change uniforms?
It just depends on the brand, definitely before 5 or 6 years typically, but sometimes quicker than that. Just depends on the uniform itself and how well they wear and how well they're taken care of and all those little things you just don't know about when you get them in. But typically, everybody, this is my 7th year starting, and everybody's been through at least one set of uniforms, and some are on their second set. So just depends on the company and the material.
Spartans travel to Greensburg this Friday night for varsity football, and they played 2 ball games. Haven't been too successful.
No, it's been a slow start for us.
Yes.
And both games we've gone off to rough starts. And sometimes when you get off to the slow start, you can't run the game plans you like to run. And, Coach Kelly likes to run the ball a lot. And, But unfortunately, when you get behind, then you got to tend to put it in the air a little bit more than you probably intend to. Not that we won't pass, but we're definitely not a passing team overall.
Right.
So hopefully we'll get off to a little bit better start this coming Friday. And I'm sure they're working on game planning right now. And I'm sure they're out on the practice field getting ready to gear up for the Pirates on Friday night.
Franklin County held the Spartans to a field goal Friday night. A good defensive team, Franklin County.
Yeah, they were solid, and
yes,
I just felt like from the get-go they might have had a little more spunk than us to coming out of the chute. And once again, we got off to a little bit of a slow start, and we kind of shot ourselves in the foot a couple times with some penalties and a turnover here or there. And we made a stop on them the first time, and then we didn't push the ball and advance it out of our end zone very far. And unfortunately, they turned around and scored on the next possession, I believe. And of course, Cole Martin hit that little 28-yard field goal right there. Kind of a high snap, but they got it down, and he kind of punched it through the uprights.
Yeah.
So, there's some positives, but there's some things we got to get worked on and get straightened out. And some of us, we just got to have some depth. We got to get more kids that want to come out and be involved and help us all at every one of our sports. And that's part of our charge, to get more kids at football. And hopefully between now and next year, we'll have that corrected, and we'll have a lot more kids out there.
We've got a middle school football team.
Sure do. 7th and 8th grade. So
yes.
I know they've had a couple games. Haven't got a chance to get down there to see them yet, but and they've had some success in the past, and so we got to figure out why it's not translating. Why some of those kids aren't coming out when they get to the high school, and we got a lot of kids that want to specialize in sports, and we're not as big a school as we used to be. So when you specialize in sports, it takes away some of your athletes from the other ones. So we've been really encouraging all of our coaches to get our kids to go out and recruit them to play your sports and try to get them out. And, we all need to be in the weight room, so every sport should be in the weight room, and that takes a little bit of the burdens off the coaches who are already in the weight room, knowing their kids may be playing in a different sport, but it's still going to get stronger in the weight room. And we just got to get our kids out playing at least a couple sports. And
like you pointed out earlier, that when college time comes and the scouts, they look at youngsters that have played more than one sport.
Yeah, I think there's a misconception that everybody thinks you have to be a one-sport athlete. But talking to the college scouts and the pro scouts that's been around looking at kids from some other teams, and they want that well-rounded athlete that's got a big circle of athleticism, and then they hone them down into a smaller circle of baseball player, basketball player.
Yes.
But if they don't have that well-rounded background and abilities to do many different things, it hurts them in their individual sports unless they're just
Sure.
that one in a million player that happens to come like a LeBron James, and those are rare. So, for high school to college, there's only going to be about 3% of the kids that even get any type of college playing time from all the kids in America, and 1% probably at the biggest level. So, stressing that academics, but that's going to get you a lot further than most of our
Sure.
kids in their athletics. But to use the athletics along with academics to get to the next level to help you get a degree or whatever you want to do. But just a single sport athlete at the small school is not what they're looking for. They're looking
Yes.
for a very, very well-rounded athlete that can do many things, and then they can make them into whatever sport they would like them
Yes.
to be in. So
Yes.
hopefully people are listening. But sometimes it falls on deaf ears, but we'll keep pushing that message out there.
We're early in the season, so all sports tickets are still a good buy.
Yeah, you can buy all sport tickets anytime during the year you want. They are $60 for adults, $40 for students, and if you're 65 and over, it's $55. Then we do have a family pass for if you have 5 people in your family. Has to be your immediate family, and live in the same household. That can cap out at $200 maximum. So we still sell them, and you're more than welcome to come out and visit Mandy Harvey to get your tickets during the day.
Have you counted the number of events that ticket's good for?
No, but it depends if you want to count the middle school events in there as well, because that will also get you into middle school games. So you're going to push the opportunity to see 300 or 400 events at home alone if you want to go.
Yes.
I know there are a few people that see quite a few. If you go around, you'll see Curtis Dalton at just about whatever event's going on. So I'm sure he gets his good use out of his all-sport ticket.
Talk about some sports CHS this week. Today, the girls' golf team is meeting Richmond at Connors Hills Willowbrook. Girls' soccer team's in action at Knightstown. As you mentioned, the junior varsity football team is meeting Franklin County at Spartan Field. On Tuesday, volleyball team is home to Newcastle at the CHS gym at 5:30, and the boys tennis team will be traveling to South Dearborn at 5:30 start. Wednesday, volleyball team will be meeting Union County at the CHS gym at 5:30 is the start time. Triton Central will be working with the girls soccer here on the home field at 5:30. This is the makeup game, right?
Yes, make-up game. I also add that girls golf is making up with Delta on the 28th, I believe. I think tomorrow. I'll double check that off my head.
Right.
I don't have that in front of me, but I think that's accurate as well.
Right. Is that here or?
Well, that's on the road.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay. I know Willowbrook's a good place for our golf teams.
Oh, it's absolutely. We have a good working relationship with them, and they've taken care of our golf teams for many, many years. So we're always excited to have people come. It's a nice little challenging golf course. We haven't had a chance to play it, and they're working on making improvements. So that's always a plus.
That's great. Boys and girls both get to use that for their home matches.
Yeah, we have a lot of compliments. We also hear a lot of complaints about how hilly it is. So it just depends on where you're at. But it's a good course for our kids to play on and host a match there.
Right. On Thursday, the boys' soccer team will be home to Wapahani. That's at 5 o'clock. The boys' tennis will be at Greensburg at 5. The girls' golf will be at Newcastle at 5. And the girls' soccer team will be at East Central at 6:30. A lot of buses Thursday.
Lots of them on the road. Sometimes it's a little challenging, but our bus barn transportation do a great job of making sure we have our vehicles that we need to get to where we're going. So,
has the Spartan Express been used yet?
Currently, I think it's still waiting on the state police to have it inspected,
okay.
the last I knew. So hopefully here soon it'll be out on the road.
Right, get those guys from the state police checking it out here. On Friday, of course, Spartans will be playing at Greensburg at 7 o'clock for the kickoff. This is a pretty good team, Greensburg.
Yeah, we've had some knockdown battles with them the last few years, some high-scoring affairs in the last couple of years. So hopefully we'll have a high fare on our side and a low score on their side. So that's the goal come Friday night.
Is that any kind of a special night at Greensburg, or do you know?
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't got any information from Stacy, their athletic director, yet, but sometimes they'll send us a little email what's going on, and I haven't received anything yet this week from him.
Okay,
So.
well, we'll wait and see what happens at Greensburg. On Saturday, the volleyball team will be at the North Central Invitational. That starts at 9 in the morning. The boys' tennis will be at Rushville, another invitational. That's at 9. And the boys' soccer will be meeting South Dearborn at CHS Field. Is that an 11 o'clock start?
That is 11 o'clock start. Give them time to get up here.
Okay.
And then I believe cross country is at Rushville this week as well. So I have to go back and check my calendar.
Busy week.
Busy week.
Yes.
That's the way it is.
The middle school sports this week. Monday, the volleyball is home to Rushville. On Tuesday, the cross-country team will be home to Richmond at 5. On Wednesday, the volleyball team is home to Richmond at 5. Football will be home to Greenfield. They got to play Spartan Field, don't they, at 5:30?
They do play at Spartan Field.
That's what I thought. Yep. Right, that's great. That's great. On Thursday at the middle school, the volleyball team will be home to Newcastle at 5:30. Swimming and diving opening their season against Centerville, CHS Pool at 5:30. They have a fall swim schedule, don't they?
Yeah, the middle school swims in the fall, and that way the high school swims in the wintertime. And I'm going to add one thing that cross-country meet I said was at Rushville is actually at East Central on Saturday.
Okay.
So 9 o'clock start. So
East Central is pretty tough in football. How are they into the sports?
Well, they're solid in most of their sports because
they?
they have so many kids to pick from. I mean, you're talking, we're probably the second largest school in the conference, and there's 600 kids bigger than we are. So those 600 kids makes a little bit of difference. And but they're solid. They've consistently been towards the top the last few years in about every sport, or majority of the sports in the top 4 in the conference. And that's our goal. We don't want anybody finishing below the top 4 in the conference. So that's what we're all striving to get to. And of course, obviously, we all want to win. But we always think in our mindset that we shouldn't finish less than 4th in any sport that we have. So that's the charge to get to.
They have so many students. Where do they come from? What kind of an area do they encompass?
Well, I mean, if you know where the end of Franklin County all the way down, it pushes just to about a mile outside of Lawrenceburg, so they expand pretty far.
Okay.
There's that Hidden Valley Lake up there. I guess there's hundreds and hundreds of homes on that, and they all come there. And Bright and out in the middle of nowhere, they said it just opens up 400 or 500 homes here or there, so they're just all out in the rural areas coming in. So.
Yes. Well, it's a good school, but we handle them in basketball pretty well.
That's what I hope they can start handling in every sport they have. That's the goal.
That's right. In varsity football, Franklin County, with its win over the Spartans, 46-3 on Friday, is 1-1, and they play at Rushville on Friday. Rushville is 1-1 with its loss to Newcastle, 35-14. And as we said, they meet Franklin County on Friday. Batesville is 2-0 with a win, 51-13 over Milan. And Friday they host South Dearborn. South Dearborn is 1-1 on the season, beating Madison 42-0. They'll be at Rushville on Friday. Greensburg is 1-1. They're losing to Triton Central 49-0. They host the Spartans, of course, on Friday. East Central is 1-1 after losing 28-21 to Cincinnati's Oak Hill. They'll be at Harrison, Ohio on Friday. Lawrenceburg is 1-1, winning 35-14 over Taylor, Ohio. They're home to Milan on Friday. Jennings County is 1-1, winning 41-13 over Brown County, and they are home to New Albany on Friday. Other area scores: Richmond is 1-1 after losing its home opener 52-7 to Lawrence North. They play at Indianapolis Tech on Friday. Union County is 1-1, winning 40-0 over Cambridge City Lincoln. They're home to Knightstown Friday. Centerville is 1-1. They lost to Hagerstown 32-26. They're home to Tryon Friday. Cambridge City is 0-2 after losing to Union County. They'll be at Shenandoah on Friday. At Cambridge City, Union County, Centerville were in a tourney at Ball State over the weekend.
Oh, well, sometimes the conferences will take their teams and play
Yes.
at a different venue. I don't know if it'll pull off, but I know we've been approached by South Dearborn if next year we're willing to play our game at Lucas Oil, if we can get enough teams to commit to go on that weekend. And I said, sure. So
Oh, sounds good.
we'll see how that progresses as Ryan investigates more and what's encompassed in all of us going up there, or how many teams he has to take on there on a Saturday.
Yes,
So
yes.
we'll see as the year unfolds if that pans out for next year.
So that's kind of something new, isn't it?
Yeah, they
high school
take teams in there. They'll have conference days in there at the
Oh,
as
okay.
well. So I know he's going to bring it up at our next conference meeting and ask the number of schools in our conference if they're willing to go on that day, and hopefully they'll all say yes. I've already told them we're in, so
It's good.
we'll see what he comes up with here in the next couple weeks. So.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting day of football for the fans.
Yeah, for those that haven't been there, it's a great place to go and watch a game.
Sure, sure. Hope the weather's better than they had Saturday. They had quite a time getting those games in Saturday at Ball State.
Oh, I imagine, because I
Yeah, it
was
was all
in
rain.
Indianapolis sitting there watching the Colts play in their preseason game, and you could see all the lightning to the north of the stadium. So.
Yes, yes. The rule is they can play in the rain, but once lightning starts,
Lightning and or thunder. It's
okay,
30 minutes from the
you
last
vacate.
time.
The fans are asked to leave, and the
Yeah.
teams, of course, leave.
And if it lightning's within that 30 minutes, you start the 30-minute clock over again. So
Yeah, we've been there.
we spent some
We've,
long nights at Spartan Field with our high view
Yeah,
seeing to the south of us. all
get
the
20,
lightning we can
25
see.
minutes in, and then here's another flash, and as you say, you run
Yeah.
the clock back to 30 minutes.
So, but it's all about safety.
Oh, absolutely.
And within 10 miles of the lightning, you just don't ever know where it's going to strike. And
That's not just high school, it's college.
yeah, that's all of it.
It's
So,
all, everywhere, yes. Yeah,
I can't speak for the NFL, but they do some different things than we do. So,
right.
but you got to err on the side of, even if it's
Well, it makes sense.
10 or 11 miles away, you can get hit by that one stray
Absolutely.
bolt coming out of there and leading the front end, and you just never know where it's going to land. So
Right.
it's always better to be safe than sorry. So.
Well, hopefully we won't encounter that this
Exactly.
season.
Never, ever. So,
Okay, you're a member of the IHSAA Board of Directors?
correct.
Okay, and your job is to do what?
Well, we have a meeting once a month, and we just make sure the rules are enforced, and we have answer questions to people who have them, and listen to appeals and hearings if someone doesn't agree with the IHSA's decision on transfers or playing. Or,
Oh, okay, so you
So-
work, that's the area you guys work in.
Yeah, the board's job is just to enforce the bylaws that are made
I see.
and represent your area. Mine is the District 3, which is the southern part of Indiana, for the 4A schools. There are 4 of us that went on the board last year, and they'll serve a 3-year term, and then you can run for re-election if you want to, and we'll see how things go. It's been enjoyable. We got to go to everything since January, so I've been to a few of the state finals, and you'll hand out medals and trophies and the Trestor Awards at the state finals, and the best mental attitude at the different levels, and you have to work 2 of those a year, 2 of those a season, so 6 times a year you got to be at the state finals working, and it's exciting just to have,
I'll bet it is.
represent our district in Connersville and be part of the IHSA board of directors. So
Right, it's great to have a representative on that, I think. It's kind of a feather in our cap.
yeah, I mean, I ran 2 or 3 years ago, and Mike Broughton, who's at Jennings County, was a repeat, and he was reelected. So when he decided he wasn't going to run again, I stuck my name in there again this time. And got enough votes to get voted in by all my guys that are in our job description or in the athletic world on the District 3 of Indiana. Now next year there'll be another district will come open, and they'll all run
Okay.
again. So every year they replace at
I
least
see.
4. So
Okay.
and they serve 3-year terms, and then there's 7 other board members that aren't. There's a minority rep, and there's a parochial school rep, and a private school rep, and so
A transfer, what are the rules and regulations? I mean, I'm sure it's kind of...
there's many, but basically if you're a freshman and you come to school at Connersville, you get free, you're automatically eligible your first year. Then of course it depends on your grades and everything you make at school, but if you start school at Connersville and you want to move to Rushville, then you have to fill out a transfer paper through the IHSA,
Okay.
and they deem whether it's a legitimate move or if it's for athletic purposes or undue influence. There's all kinds of little rules that come into play. So each case is different, and the assistant commissioners, which rule on all the transfers, and there are 5 of those. And then if those people don't agree with the ruling of the assistant commissioners, then they're allowed to appeal. And if they appeal, they have an appeals committee off of the board. So
Interesting. It's quite an organization.
I've learned a lot in the last 5 months that I've been going. So as I told them at our August meeting, I said we've appreciated being invited to all the meetings since we've been through our orientation in January, just to kind of figure out the players in the game and what's
Sure.
going on. And it'd been hard to step in August and not know anything about what was happening and trying to learn as you're going. So those
Yes.
4 months of listening and being a part of it without being able to vote or talk, you got to absorb a lot of things. So it's been a good experience.
I'll
so
bet.
far.
I'll bet it has. How long do the meetings last?
Just depends on what's the agenda. So it usually starts at 8 in the morning, and hopefully we were done by 11 last time. So,
Okay.
but we go to the national conference in Chicago this summer, and then next year it's the 100th anniversary of all boards in the United States. So it's in Indianapolis. So I'm sure we'll be doing a little work next year as we host for the 100th time. So
Okay. The headquarters are located on Meridian.
yeah, 9150 North Meridian Street in Indianapolis,
Okay.
just inside the loop off of 465. So.
Well, that's a great experience.
Yeah, it has been. Just the people that you're involved with from all over the state. There's a single A, a 1A, 2A, 3A rep, and 4A rep from up north, 4 in the middle, and 4 down south. Then you throw in all the other people. Ray Wolpe from Richmond is on the board with me, and then
Good.
Matt Martin from Knightstown, their AD's on the board. So it's been a good experience so far. Learned a lot.
Are they talking about any changes of any kind? I know we've got, 6 classes in football now?
Yeah, that's basically because of numbers. You know, when you talk about the top 6, which there's 32 classes, and there's only 32 schools in 6A, and there's 32 schools in 5A, and then the rest of us are 4A and down.
Okay.
So it basically comes down to a numbers game. You know, Carmel's got 5,000 students.
Enrollment
you know,
is-
and if we don't have those 6 classes, and then numbers in football are a lot positives. You know, when you got a lot of people to choose from,
Yes.
can dictate a lot of things in football. So if you put them in 4A, you got a school with 6,000 or 5,000 people in it, and a school like us with
Sure.
1,000. So you got 4,000 difference between the top and the bottom. To where if you go down to single A, it may be 300 or 400. So it makes a little bit of difference. But I don't foresee basketball or any of those other sports change. You know, soccer has 3 classes now. Volleyball has 3 classes. So, and we're kind of all over the gamut where we're enrolled. We're 4A in basketball and 4A in football and 4A in baseball, but we're 3A in softball last year, and we're 3A in boys
Right.
soccer and 2A in girls soccer. So we're just kind of spread out all around the board a little bit.
It keeps you guessing, I guess.
And then we'll reclassify at the end of this school year. So the numbers come out again then in May, and we'll figure out if we're still the same place we are, or if we've been moved again. So, and then if you have the success factor, you know, if you keep winning, then you get so many points you accumulate, then you got to bump up to the next class.
Right. I don't understand that one really.
But it's a total of 6 over a 2-year period, I believe. So if you win a sectional, you get so many points. You win the regional, you get so many more points. You win a state. So if you keep adding and winning, your points just keep totaling up. Then you got to bump up a class. So
But
supposed
is
to
it
balance the field.
okay?
That's what they say.
But if you win, your competition becomes stiffer.
That's true.
Because
You
you-
go up, you get a little stiffer.
right,
But if you're
right.
consistently winning in the class you are, then maybe you should be up at
Okay.
the next level up. It's kind of what they're
I guess
they're
that
looking
makes
at.
sense
So.
in a way. But
Yeah, there's all kinds of different things that happen.
basketball, any rule changes or anything that's
Not major.
yeah, okay?
So
Yeah.
we'll go back through those. They'll send those back out again here in the next couple of weeks and get a refresher of everything that's possibly coming down the pipe. And
Spartan Bowl look the same this year, will it?
so far, not any changes yet. So
Okay, I didn't know if you had to.
we have some plans. It's just a matter of, at least I think I have some plans. It's just a matter of finances and doing things you want to get
Okay.
done and finding space. And
Yeah.
you know, it's not like it's blessed with a lot of wall space in there. So you got to make do with what you have and try to reconfigure if you can. And I got some ideas. I just got to
Good.
get it done and find a place to put what I want to do. So.
Speaking of new things, a new addition to CHS, field house.
Yeah, we're excited. It's going to serve a lot of purposes, not only for athletics, but physical education. But you know, the big thing for 2018 is just the securing of our campus so that, you know, anybody
Right.
just can't walk in and be in the middle of our students at any given time of the day.
Right.
You know, it's supposed to hopefully break ground in November and be up and running by 2019 December. So we're only about 14 or 15 months out, but still in the beginning stages and haven't seen the finalized plan yet. So. But we're all excited about it. I know the kids are talking about it, and I've been interviewed twice this week about it by students. So they're all talking about it as well.
So the entrance where the buses discharge the students will move from the north side to the south side.
Well, that's still all in negotiations.
Oh,
I do
okay.
know we're going to put a little gate across that north side entrance so that it has access before school and after school, but not during the school day.
I see.
So that our kids are truly inside the courtyard and exterior people can't get in there without going through a door. How they're going to do the buses, that'll be a topic of discussion, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Just to make logistics. It's been talked about.
Yes.
I don't know, nothing's been finalized yet. So
I see.
there'll be some more conversations once we know how we're going to do everything to make sure we have everything in place when we open the new facility up. So.
And that will connect what buildings?
Currently it'll attach to the end of the Robert E. Wise building, and it will go to the Waterloo doors, basically. So almost to the Waterloo teacher parking lot on the southwest side of the building.
And that's where you're located, in the Waterloo building?
The main office is in the Jackson building.
Okay.
So, and then Waterloo's the furthest west.
All right.
Right before you get to the Neff Center, which is all the way on the end. So,
Okay.
and then hopefully, you come into the building and you can turn left to get to the school, and you turn right to go to the field house, and you go straight across the hall to get to the office. So that's the plans. But like I said, it's still in beginning stages. So.
Take about a year to construct that?
That's what they tell us, and that's what we're hoping for. So they said we should hopefully be open, weather permitting and everything going right. Hopefully December of 2019 is the target date. So.
Well, I know safety is a real concern.
It's a great campus, don't get me wrong. I mean, 1969, nobody was worried about schools being soft targets for people.
Right.
And just the world has changed a little bit, and you got to keep your kids protected more. And securing that courtyard is a big plus for all of us.
Yes.
Knowing who's coming in and who's going out, and not anybody just walking in or driving into the middle of your campus.
Yeah, as they can now.
Oh yeah, they could drive right into the center of it right now.
Right.
So
Right.
that'll be a huge benefit for all of us, just from a security standpoint.
Most schools have that kind of a building, don't they, for the athletic teams?
There's quite a few that have built some here in the last few years. Greensburg built theirs 18 years ago.
Okay.
So, but more and more have built them in the last 10 years.
I don't know, East Central has.
East Central has one. Lawrenceburg kind of has one when they redid the renovations. Batesville's added a second one on. So they're becoming more and more prominent. I think Mount Vernon's getting ready to add one, or just did add one. I think they have one for their football outside. So they're getting. Greenfield has one, an auxiliary area with 3 courts and a wrestling room. And
Yes.
so Greenwood's just put one on. So
Okay.
they're getting more and more. It's just, you got to have places for your kids in the wintertime and to do tennis and volleyball and work out when we can't get outside.
Right.
Baseball and softball have a place to throw in the wintertime instead of trying to throw on a 60-foot cross court in the gym, or 90-foot lengthwise. So just, it'll benefit us all. And then, of course, phys ed can use it during the daytime, and band will be able to get in there if it's raining in the mornings, and hopefully when they practice. So it'd be great.
Yeah, I know it'll be quite an addition and help a lot of the programs.
Yeah, like I said, it's just hard to go outside when it's wet.
Sure.
You got a chance to be able to do things all year round, and the track can do some things in there. There'll be a couple lanes track around it, and hopefully I'll talk in the long jump pit, hopefully, in the pole vault box, and an area to throw the disc, and an area to hit golf balls, and cages for baseball and volleyball nets, so tennis courts on the rubber surface. So it should be a multi-purpose building for all of us to be able to get in and use. And the goals are supposed to be able to crank down to 8 foot so that we can have our little kids in there.
Good.
And have our youth camps in there, and air conditioning hopefully, and I'm sure it will be.
Sounds like quite a facility coming up.
We're all excited, and it's been a buzz, at least in my office. So we're anticipating, and it's always good to see the guys that are going to help construct it, the design crew, come back, and they listen to our ideas, and they've tried to incorporate some. And we'll see what their next set of drawings looks like.
I'm anxious to see it. I'm sure it'll be a great addition to the school, because right now when I go over there sometimes in the winter, I see kids running back and forth in the lobby there between the gym and across the front of the Robert E. Wise Center.
It gets a little crowded in that hallway over by the swimming pool in the wintertime right now when you're trying to do track. And baseball and softball all trying to go at once, and plus the winter sports that are finishing up, it gets a little crowded in there. And then your patrons are kind of trying to come and watch a game, and they're trying to dodge kids running right now. So it'll be a great addition once it's done.
Sure will. Okay, Spartan football, Greensburg this week, and we'll be back home a week from Friday with South Dearborn. And again, it's homecoming night.
September 7th, homecoming night. So
should be quite
on the South Dearborn Knights coming in, and come out and enjoy the activities a week from Friday.
I'm sure the fans will be anxious to see the Spartans, and hopefully we'll have a win by then.
That's the goal.
Thanks, Brent.
Thanks, Fran. I appreciate
Brent
being here.
Duncan's joined us here on the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. And thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week.